Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we're playing Red, Black, Burn. We have Moonshadow up in the house. She gets huge. DRC, she helps Moonshadow get huge. And, of course, Nethergoyf, which is usually huge as well. The rest of the deck is centered around triggering Moonshadow and filling up the graveyard with Nethergoyf. And for that, we have Street Wraith, which cycles. We have 8 bobble effects. We also have Molten Collapse, which is a cool utility card that can remove a Chalice of the Void, which everything in our deck is 1 mana or 0 mana. So that can be pretty important. And it can also remove like a Barragoyf or a Murktide or something like that. Getting Descend turned on is pretty trivial with this deck because we're constantly putting things into our graveyard. And the rest of the deck is just a bunch of burn. We have Lightning Bolt, Chain Lightning, Bolt Wave, new one. This doesn't target each opponent. It's a sorcery, and basically it's going to hopefully hit our opponent for 3, assuming they don't have 1 ring protection. And then we have Fireblast. This is the ultimate finisher. We'll sacrifice a couple mountains, and we'll do 4 to the dome, or in desperation, we can remove a threat. Sideboard is focused on surviving the likely hate cards that are going to come in, such as Chalice of the Void. So we've got a whopping 4 Smash to Smithereens. This is a great card. It's really strong, and I'm hoping to blow up some Chalices with it. We also have Price of Progress. Our mana base is basically all non-basics, but hopefully our opponent will be so low in life that it won't kill them and it won't kill us. I've also got a basic mountain here. This is just for lands matchup because frequently they'll have like Tabernacle and you'll have like an insane sized Moonshadow, but they'll just waste you and then they'll go get Tabernacle and then your Moonshadow dies to the Tabernacle. So we don't want that to happen. I've also got 3 Fatal Pushes. These are really just for Barragoyf matchups. So we're going to play a full 5 rounds starting right now. Round 1, we're up against an unknown opponent. I don't like this hand. It doesn't have a permanent mana source, and we could just die. We're playing 16 lands plus 4 petals. And I found that when I was at 17, I was getting flooded a lot. This looks very reasonable. I think what we do is we just put back one of the baubles. Since it's like a redundant effect. I could put back a land. I think I'm going to put back a land. No. Because these fresh cards could be really good aggression cards that we're going to get. And yeah, I think I'll do that. I'll put back the bubble. Could absolutely get flooded, even at 16 lands. Worse things have happened. I'll go ahead and lead with this. I don't expect them to be able to kill my Nethergoyf immediately. And then I can bubble, and I do have 2 Surveillance in the deck. Let's go ahead and take a look at what they're doing over there. I could have definitely done that before I deployed the Nethergoyf. Badger woke up. Okay, so Bolt and Molten Collapse are both going to have text here. And we're just going to have to try to keep them at bay while we connect a bunch. Generally, like all their permanents are creatures, so I don't expect us to be able to get both of the modes. Okay, this is a good draw. Once Upon a Time. Next turn, Barragoyf will likely be 3-4. Because I'm going to crack a land and I'm also going to bolt something. I'll bolt probably any creature they put out. Okay, Quirion Ranger, that's a very good target for bolting. That can generate a lot of mana very quickly. The way you stop their deck is you just aggressively go after. But if we put the Moonshadows out, I definitely want the first Moonshadow. I think we just play conservatively here and we bolt this and respect it. Of course, they could follow up with White of the Reliquary, but we can unconditionally destroy that with Molten Collapse. So we'll always yield to these triggers, and we're going to grow the Goyf and the Moonshadow at the same time. We get another Badlands. Even if somebody Blood Moons this, it's not that big of a deal, so I feel perfectly fine just playing a ton of red-black lands and no basics. Take that. Now we come in for a clean 3 damage, and we'll pass. Moonshadow currently just a 2-2, but likely to grow. Depending on what we draw here. If we just draw like a Badlands, that wouldn't help it grow, but pretty much anything else in our deck will give it growth. So there are 2 philosophies. One is go after the dorks. One is go after the big creatures that they enable. The main reason why you have to go after the dorks is you have to respect Gaia's Cradle here. They can absolutely just, natural order for Atraxa or something like that, and you're not going to win those games. So by managing the number of creatures they have on the table, you're kind of hedging against that upside or the downside risk. Fiend Artisan. So this is also kind of shoot on sight, as almost all their creatures are. We can just cleanly bolt it and deploy another Moonshadow. And I think this is good because eventually these are going to be too big for us to just bolt. And then we'll have the Molten Collapse. This is a new addition to the deck. I played 2 leagues previously, iterated a bunch, and I feel like this is way better already. It feels like more optionality, just having Molten Collapse in the deck. Next turn, we're going to be hitting them for 6 most likely, but this sorcery will put another type in the yard if we want to use it. We'll most likely have some sort of creature we can kill with it. There's the Cradle, which we've... Yeah, Badger Mole Cub can make this Cradle pretty good. It will tap for an extra mana, so it'll tap for 4 mana now. Are we dead? 3 mana. Okay. Once upon a time. So I need to go after the Badger Mole Cub. The Cradle will just come back, unfortunately. Okay, and they have Elvish Mystic, which can tap to just add green. So it's the Lawn War Elf by a different name. Okay, Raucous Theater should trigger Molten Collapse, but I don't think any of these count as non-land or non-creature. Non-creature, non-land, yeah. So I'll bin this. So that will trigger the Moonshadows. Okay, and now I'm going to go black, red. We're going to take this out because it is making these produce extra mana. And we might just still die to Natural Order, unfortunately. We are up against a combo deck. It's just a cute, cuddly, Badger Mole Cub combo deck, but it is a dirty combo deck, and it will eat you if you get unlucky. We're doing everything we can to interact, but like they already have 4 mana, so they do all have the Natural Order. They are not blocking because they are probably just going to Natural Order us, and that'll be the game. They're at 2. If they Natural Order though, we might be able to still get them with the with our Moonshadows. But they can sack the Cradle, it'll just die, and it'll come back into play tapped. Even though Badger Mole Cub is out of play, for some reason the ability continues. It's frustrating. Because basically once Badger Mole comes on the stack, or once he resolves, you're just looking at so much card disadvantage. Looks like this might be a smaller Green Sun Zenith. Oh, it's just another Badger Mole Cub. Okay. Well, they've got tons of mana now. Yeah, and this is a creature, so they could potentially multi-block now. Let's see. There's 5 mana. Yeah, this is going to Natural Order Atraxa, and unfortunately, there's no way we can beat Atraxa here. Yeah, this is precisely what I was talking about. So even though they're at 2, there's we could draw Bolt. I guess Bolt is our only out. We have a lot of direct damage, but we can't attack because then they'll just block with Atraxa, and they'll gain 7 life. So we're literally looking at Bolt or Bust. Bolt Wave, Lightning Bolt, Chain Lightning. So we've got a total of, I think, 10 cards left in the deck that win out of 48. Not terrible odds. We could draw another Molten Collapse, and that would win. They found another Cradle. So what they can do is they can Cradle, and then they can do a bunch of disgusting stuff. Wait, no, did they play the Forest this turn? No, they didn't. So they still have a land drop. So 2 mana off this. The cards they kept were Elvish Visionary and House Cradle. They only got 2 cards, but this does draw them a card, and it produces yet another blocker. But I feel confident that if we can just kill this somehow or bolt them, they'll be dead. They have 1 more mana. Okay, so this is really weird, but they actually had 2 Cradles in play at the same time for some reason. Okay, so they're Natural Ordering a second time. I think they may be able to just kill us, because I think do the creatures gain haste as well? So again, just lest you think that you're up against a fair deck, this is just another combo deck. And my prediction is that, 3 or 4 years from now, there won't be any non-combo decks in Legacy. Unfortunately, with the rate at which they're printing Fire Design. I mean, we're playing Fire Design too, though. It's just that we're not comboing. Our combo is we cast a whole bunch of burn spells. So if they Crater Hoof here, I believe they can just, I think it gives the creatures haste. Oh, they just got a Fiend Artisan? Why? Okay. I think it was just so they'd have something untapped. And it is a 6/6. I mean, the game's over, frankly, if we don't draw a Bolt here. All right. Better lucky than good. That's how Napoleon likes his generals. Good game. All right, so we don't have any sideboard options for this. Actually, I think Fatal Push is pretty good here. Let's think about what we're taking out. Netherglyph is kind of bad because they're always going to be able to block. He gets big, but like, I think I'd rather just clear and hit with evasive beats. And also they do have like ways of like nuking our graveyard with endurance. So I'll try this. Again, it can be tempting to bring in Price of Progress, but at the end of the game, I think they had 2 forests and only 1 non-basic out. So it's not like a lock. It's conditional. You know, you might get 4 damage off of it. Good news is they are unlikely to... I mean, if they bring in Leyline, it doesn't terribly negatively affect our offensive because we have the... We basically have the burn plan if they bring in Leyline. That's one of the adaptation I made. Originally, I was like, oh, we got to have... I think we were using Feed the Swarm to try to clear Leyline, but since we have so many burn spells, we can potentially win. Okay, this is a pretty good hand. This is probably Delirious Delver or DRC on turn 2. These are redraws. That's fine. We've got land. I'm gonna keep. It's not a super explosive hand. We don't have any removal for the threats, unfortunately. We might just lose this one and then go to game 3 and try to win that. Binhorn Elves. I love this art. Classic Ice Age card. Ice Age was my first set as a kid. All right. So I think this is just Cycle Street Wraith first. We're ripping a lot of lands for a deck that only has 16 lands. Unfortunate. And we're not playing Wasteland or anything. Like everything is about the business of burning our opponents down. So I'm just going to go ahead and DRC here, and then I'm going to start casting spells. Let's go ahead and check their top, since we're going to see our top. I definitely don't want any more lands. If I found like a bolt, you have natural order on top. That's good to know about. I think it is correct to just keep digging. Urza's Bauble, that'll go in the yard. I want my cards immediately, not next turn. So we'll take a look at their hand, see a random card. They have a natural order in hand as well. Okay. We can play this out. Moonshadow. Unfortunately, I think that's too late. Isn't it? We're looking for removal for their creatures so we can keep them off natural order. That's probably a fool's errand. And at this point, I'll just pass. Next turn, we have Surveil to get Delirium and stuff like that. But I think we just have to win through a critical mass of burn. And DRC hitting them in the face. Fatal Push. I'm going to set a stop here because it might be worth Fatal Pushing this. Let's see what the other draw is. Street Wraith. I'm going to go ahead and Street Wraith now. Bolt's nice. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just push this now. Okay, we'll bin something else. Yeah, that's not necessary. We've got 6 burn. And then we were hitting them for 3 each turn. Yeah, look at our graveyard. Look at our freaking graveyard. There's like 11 cards in there. We're already a third of the way through our deck. Shepherd, that's fine. Cradle, that's not fine. Okay, Elvish Mystic. Unfortunately, like, because we know what's coming, we really do need to manage this and this. Like, I might actually just hit that and leave them with the Allosaur Shepherd because this only represents 1 mana with the Cradle. They've got 3 cards in hand. Let's see what we draw here. Chain Lightning's good. Yeah, I think I'm going to just go ahead and hit the Elvish Mystic. And then I will Surveil here. Let's go ahead and Chain Lightning the Elvish Mystic. Trigger. Definitely don't want to land. That's a nice dodge. I could take them off this too. I think that's probably correct. Sadly. Yeah, it sucks, but I think it's correct to go ahead and take them off that as well with the bolt. Because if they don't have creatures, then they can't stick the scary dude. And I'll just keep digging deeper to find more burn. Badlands. It's important to note that we can only fetch Surveil on the next one. Let's go and do this. I mean, that's an aerial assaulter. It doubles our clock. Oh, what do we do here? I mean, I hate to say it, but I think we just keep digging for burn and we just keep removing their threats. It seems weird, but like literally every creature represents mana. Hopefully they don't find like Badger Mole Cub. That would be devastating. Okay, another elf that we'll have to kill. Weird game. And Green Sun for 1. Yeah, I mean, like we know they have 2 natural orders in hand. If we clear one of these, then they may not be able to use it. So we have to find it. Like I'll bolt wave them and just dig really deep. Okay, there we go. There we go. So let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and bolt the Finhorn Elf. That goes in the yard. And I'll also surveil and just like maximize or minimize the number of lands left in our deck here. Let's go ahead and do that first. And then I'm going to bolt wave just to try to set up another draw for next turn. Unless I find a burn spell right here. That is another dodge. Bolt wave. This is a very weird game. Chain Lightning is perfect. Okay, so now we have that lined up, and we're just going to try to keep them off of creatures, any creatures at all. They're at 13. It may seem counterintuitive, but again, I just want to reassure you, if Natural Order resolves, the game is over. Quarian Ranger. So now they have 3 mana. No, they can. They have a combo. They can do more than 3. They can Natural Order now. Frustrating, but true. Yeah, they have 4 mana. So frustrating. Like I did my best, and holding a 4. Like I guess I could have held the bolt, but I needed to go through my deck and find the actual answer. They're gonna Natural Order here. They have another Natural Order in hand. Frustratingly. So like it's possible that like we just draw. No, we already know what we're gonna draw, and it's not gonna answer this. Good game. That was so frustrating. But that's how you have to play against this deck. Like if you're on a fair deck, if you're a combo deck, you just combo over it, and you're faster than them. All right, and I'm gonna just do the same strategy, even though we're on the play. I feel like we're not as fast as they are. Like a critical turn 3, maybe if we're lucky with a Moonshadow. But usually it's going to be turn 4 and we'll be dead by then because they're combo. So this is a great hand. This is Moonshadow, and then we will eventually use Fireblast to both buff our Moonshadow and kill them. We do have a little bit of burn, so we'll take out their creatures. This is more lands than I would like. We don't have any cantripping cards, unfortunately, so I'm just going to Moonshadow here, and Moonshadow will probably only be hitting for like 3 here, but it's not the end of the world. I am very excited to potentially cast Fireblast here. Their deck doesn't generally respect fellow decks because this is a combo ships passing the night type deck. So the only removal you generally have to worry about is them playing this card, Talon Gates, and that can like temporarily phase out your card. We're just going to hope to keep this game short. Okay, that's a bolt. All right, Petal's great because I can cast it, and it's probably worth using it to just grow the Moonshadow. I'm going to go ahead and Surveil first. And then I can Bolt Wave, which doesn't, like, we might as well do that. It's only aimed at their face. So, Theater, that'll go in the yard. That buffs. Now I will go ahead and bolt this. And I'm going to go ahead and use the, again, it may seem weird to be using the Petal this way when we could just cast this at any old time, but it does grow the Moonshadow. And that's what we need. We need pressure combined with like mild creature disruption. And you know what? This is crazy, but I'm actually going to Fireblast now because it does more damage and I just want to win the game. Again, I totally acknowledge that that seems totally crazy, but it's an extra damage this turn and it's an extra damage next turn. We don't have to wait. We've got another thing in our hand. Okay, so they're going to drop to 7, I believe. And then if we're lucky, we might be able to kill them next turn. That was cool, by the way. And it only triggers once because it's every time something goes. 2 of them went to the graveyard at the same time. And you can see from that, like that was a powerful effect, but you don't get to do that more than once a game. So that's why there's only 1 copy of it. Actually, this is a deterministic kill. Well, no, it's not deterministic, but like if we fetch Surveil and we find any permanent, then we can just put it in the yard and Moonshadow will be full 7/7. They would need to play a land and then deploy 2 threats or 2 cards, and then they would need to double block. Okay, there's Elvish Mystic and Allosaurus Shepherd. Okay. Lightning Bolt does it if... Oh yeah, I could just bolt and then attack. That's not good enough. I'm going to go ahead and attack and just see if they're Cavalier enough not to block. And if they want to double block, that's fine too. I've got them in the double abyss. They may just not win a game where they're double blocking every turn. Oh, one card that they sometimes play is Snuff Out, but obviously that doesn't work against this. I'll go and do an extra damage here. Now, even if they somehow stop this, fetches are off for the rest of the game. Beautiful, turn 3. See ya. Round 2, we're up against Sneak and Show Enthusiast Katsuhiro Mori. This hand sucks, frankly. Let's see if we can do better. This is going to be a really rough matchup, frankly. And it doesn't get better. We don't have sideboard cards for it. This is fine. This is a pretty big Moonshadow and another Goyf. We're, of course, continuing to get excessive amounts of land in our 16-land deck. Okay, Tamiyo. As you can see, they play a lot of Sneak and Show, but their most recent Sneak and Show lists haven't had Tamiyo in it, so I'm not sure what they're likely on. This could be a Daze. I'm going to go ahead and attempt to just play this out, and then it'll grow dramatically this turn cycle. To the point that like Tamiyo is like going to get one-shotted by the Street Wraith, or by this Moonshadow here. So if they Daze it, it will be kind of sad because we've got another Goyf coming. Okay, and now let's start this process. First cycle is good. I love this card. I love punishing people that don't play removal is what I love. And that previous round, I really relished the opponent just having a deck that doesn't have removal. You can't remove a simple 1-drop? It felt great. All right, that Badlands is a seriously sad rip. Please don't give us more land. I don't know how few lands you want me to play. Oh my goodness. Well, this is pretty disastrous, unfortunately. But it's not like we have Brainstorm coming to save us. We just have to try to win with these cards. Fortunately, Nethergrowth's going to arrive as a 4/5. We can fetch and surveil. But yeah, like the mana base is razor thin. No basics. We use a lot of petals, 16 lands. I can't go below 16. I just can't countenance it as a fair gamer. Okay, they're drawing petals, so they could be on Doomsday here. That's my read, which hopefully we can pressure Doomsday well enough. Next turn, if Tamiyo flips, she will die. Please don't give us a land deck. All right, that's not bad. By the way, DRC and Moonshadow are like peanut butter and jelly. They are like oil and vinegar. Brainstorm flipping her. Be my guest. Unless they find a fatal push, then I think Tamiyo's dead. If they do find a fatal push, we'll have double, pressure. Because that'll be, no. Yeah, like we can't get Delirium yet. There's pluses and it buys some time. But Doomsday doesn't traditionally play fatal pushes in main deck. They could. Okay, surveilling. Interesting. So this could just be Sneak and Show with Tamiyo in the deck. Yeah, but there's not a lot we can do here. So what I'm going to do here is absolutely I'm going to start with this. I'll go ahead and fetch. This will grow. I'll just get another Badlands. I got one more on the deck since I'm going to double spell this turn. Technically triple spell. We're just going to put a lot of creatures on the table. If they can assemble the combo, we're done, unfortunately. I thought about putting Thoughtseize in the deck, but I thought, let's just kill people before they can assemble their combo. Fair gamers, we're going to put up a fight, but against combo, it's basically like, okay, can I kill them before they can combo me? I don't really have much counterplay. Okay, so we'll get the Badlands here, and these other, the other fetch represents, a potential Surveil land. I am playing 2 Surveil lands in the deck for that reason. So now let's play the Petal out. And now, even if they have days, we can stop it. So we'll bin that. This grows the Moonshadow. Let's go ahead and play the Nethergoyf. There's no point in growing the Moonshadow further this turn since it is going to respect Tamio here. All right, and we'll see whether they can combo us. They did get like kind of a 1-for-1, but they saved themselves 6 damage by playing her out and flipping her. They will have to pay the mana to crack this clue. Yeah, we'll see. There's the Ancient Tomb. Cracking the clue immediately. Hopefully they have to stock up or something before they can show and tell. Another Tamio. Okay. We're going to have to do this minigame again. All right. Lightning Bolt for my Tamio. I like it. I'm going to go ahead and Surveil first. Another bubble dodged. Okay, so we're fully powered up with Moonshadow. I think we just bolt and we attack for 7 plus 4 plus 3. 14, and they're at 3. The other option is we just attack in, but no, I need the trigger here to get Delirium and to get another type in the yard. They could Brainstorm here, but it'll be vulnerable. Oh, I'm so glad we dodged that land. I've had enough lands for the game. If they do flip her, I can just send one of my guys after her. Okay, they force. That still gives me Delirium. Let's go to combat. And I think they might have to block one of these. Yeah, pretty good. 6. So they do have a little more life now. We could absolutely lose here, unfortunately. But if they have to spend any time looking, okay, that worked out great. So I don't have Pyroblast. I don't have anything for this matchup. The best I can do is Price of Progress, and I'm not convinced that's really good, but it's probably better than Molten Collapse. I think I take out the Molten Collapses and I bring in the prices. And we'll run it back. I mean, like, it's likely not going to hit anything, but if they are playing non-basics, we saw Ancient Tomb, of course. I actually can't remember how many islands they were playing, but they may just go for it. But they may respect like Blood Moon and stuff that's not in our deck. But I don't think the Molten Collapse is going to do anything. Like, it answers like a Emrakul or something. It doesn't actually answer Emrakul. It answers Atraxa after she's already had her ability. It'll most likely just get forced. I can't think of any 1-drops they would be playing that would be good against our deck. It's not like we have to worry about Carpet of Flowers. We're not trying to counterspell anything, so we don't need to worry about like cards they would traditionally use. We can use it to kill Tamio, but I'm pretty confident we can just kill Tamio with our many other spells and creatures. They have to respect Thoughtseize because we're a black deck. This is a pretty good hand. I like this a lot. I'm going to DRC and then I'll be able to Surveil a couple times and fill up my yard. There's a Petal. Do they just have the Ancient Tomb? They don't. Okay, but it was a fast. And they kept 7, so I presume they have the combo. Of course, we draw a freaking land. I'm so sick of drawing lands deck. Come on. Just don't give me 4 landers when I'm playing 16 land, please. I will not stop complaining about that because it's ridiculous. But it is variance. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. Unfortunately, this is just not where we want to be. It puts a type in the yard. I'll go ahead and look at their top. They're going to shuffle it away, most likely. They're drawing a land. Okay. Okay, they're fetching 19. Next turn, we can fetch and we can bolt and we'll have Delirium. And then we can also drop the Nethergoyf. It's probably too slow. They are a combo deck with like a critical turn 2, I think. And when I say critical turn, like historically, another land, of course. They've won on turn 2 against me most of the time. Show and tell. All right. We'll put a Nethergoyf in play just in case they're putting like an Omniscience that's going to whiff, but they're not. We can take a look at the cards they get. Okay, so Hydroblast is in their deck. They are playing Days. Yeah, stock up. Okay, let's concede. That was a short one. Again, this is not the kind of matchup we want necessarily, but we're going to do our best. They did have Snow-Covered Island. Yeah, I'm not convinced any of these cards are better than what we have. All right, we get to be on the play. Let's find something explosive. This is not explosive enough. Small again, and also I don't like the mana situation. Okay, so here we just Moonshadow, we crack, and then next turn we DRC, hopefully fill up our graveyard for Moonshadow, and Moonshadow's hitting for a lot. And it really just comes down to, you know, how slow their start is. But I'm going to just keep a single Badlands because the most likely thing I'm going to draw is land. And I'll Moonshadow, bobble. The next turn I'll DRC, and I won't be able to bolt, unfortunately, but I do want this burn over land. They mulled a 6 as well. They can mull pretty deep. They really only need like Ancient Tomb, Island, Show and Tell, Emrakul or something like that, and they can win. This hand is not nearly as explosive as the hand we had in game 1, unfortunately. But I like the burn, just being able to potentially finish them off. And it'll interact favorably with DRC. It's possible that DRC gets dazed, but that will trigger. So our Moonshadow will be slightly larger. And the next DRC will be slightly closer to Delirium. All right, our opponent kept 6. And I'm always leading with Moonshadow just because the damage output is higher than Bubble or than DRC here. Like game 1 when we did like 7 damage, it was pretty insane. I would actually be fine if they force here, but that might mean that they have the combo in addition to having force. Okay, so that's in. Let's go ahead and crack this off. We're actually looking for land. Not that we get any say in that matter. But this does go, yeah. Lotus Petal. All right, we'll pass. Maybe it was incorrect to put back the land. We'll see momentarily. Another Moonshadow. Which is probably redundant. Like, obviously it's redundant, but like I probably won't play it out because DRC is going to be more helpful in terms of scaling up this one. Okay, they are playing Sephoric Springs. I'll be thrilled if they shock it in, but they don't. All right. Come on, land. All right, Petal's fine. So check this out. I'm going to play this out first because I definitely don't want this to get countered. That would be bad. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to Moonshadow again. And then I'll play the DRC. And then we'll just chill for another turn cycle. Like, there's a possibility they counter this. But we have a lot of goodness next turn. Okay. So we'll just attack for 3. It's not like super exciting, but we're on the right track in terms of damage output. And we like if we get close, we can finish them off. I'm just worried that they're going to win this turn. You hope that they have to stock up first, but they don't necessarily have to. And again, like I brought this upon myself by not putting a yeah, this is it, I think. Oh, stock up. Yes. So let's think about what an ideal turn would look like. We draw a land, and then we can bolt, fetch. Like a fetch would be the best possible here, because that would turn on. That would turn on DRC, and it would trigger the Moonshadows. We can hope. We're almost certainly dead if we can't kill them this turn cycle. Rockets Theater doesn't help that much. Yeah, so we might be able to get Delirium here. We'll at least know which of these to cast based on what happens. That does help with Delirium. Okay, so these get bigger. So we cast the Chain Lightning here, which is the less flexible of the 2 spells. We get to Surveil. We have Delirium. No, we don't. Now we do. Now we do. These grow. Is that enough? That might be enough. 9, 12. That's exactly enough. Holy cow. Wow. That was insane. They are going to do something here. Brainstorm? Sure. I don't know what they could find here with 0 mana. Good game. Wow. I did not expect to win that. How did we win that? I'm loving this deck. Hope you are too. I'm going to get a good night's sleep. I'll come back and do subsequent rounds. It'll be seamless for you, but just some closing thoughts. So far, it's felt amazing. I was really thinking we needed to play Thoughtseize to have a chance against AB combo decks like the one we just beat. But maybe we don't. Maybe if we're just fast enough. every single mana, like the fact that everything is 1 mana has been really cool, because like literally everything you're drawing off the top, like unless you're drawing this, and we were even still able to win with drawing that dud. Yeah, pretty cool. See you in round 3. All right, we're back for round 3. We're 2-0. We're up against an unknown opponent. And my opponent said, good luck, streamer. Warm on a black today. And then they said, no hits for me on Google because I suck. I just want to shout out Mugatu32 for his or her humility there. Okay, so we had to mulligan the first hand, but the second hand is great. We've got Moonshadow. Rockets Theater is not a terrible follow-up. I can put back one of these Bolt Waves. And my heuristic now is always leave with Moonshadow, basically. All right, so yeah, that is a pro tip from Mugatu32. By the way, if you don't know that name, it's Will Ferrell's character from Zoolander. Classic character. Yeah, I am going to keep the Rockets Theater just in case they're a Wasteland deck. I would like to be able to deploy more stuff. So, yeah, we'll put back Bolt Wave. I did the math, and we have 40 points of direct damage in our deck. So we can definitely dig to burn people out if necessary. Okay, fellow Badlands gamer over there. So I think they take the DRC here, but Moonshadow is definitely viable too. I mean, I presume that they're going to have like some sort of creature removal here. Maybe Bolt or Push or both. But we do have the combo here that they're breaking up. And if they see Bolt Wave, they can presume that we also have Chain Lightning in our deck. So I am going to just immediately grow Moonshadow out of Bowmaster range. I could have actually played this first to play around exactly Gut Shot, but I doubt my opponent's playing that since they're actually playing red. You usually play Gut Shot in like a mono. Yeah, we'll see what they're drawing over there. I've got a lot of burn in my hand. They're drawing a Mire. So we'll draw our card here before Bowmaster can hit us. Another DRC. Love it. Love it. So we can almost certainly descend this turn. And I shouldn't technically use the word descend. So just in case they have blue in their deck, I like going ahead and just getting that down. So if they counter this, it's not descend. I don't know. Actually, the keyword descend is exactly the same. But basically, anytime anything goes to our graveyard. So it's like super good. This can go to our graveyard. That grows this. I do not want to cast Chain Lightning because it will... they can bounce it back. So I think I just want to Bolt Wave them. This grows it further. Bolt Wave. Now we get to Surveil 2. This grows it. Yeah, like Moonshadow is an insane card if you haven't noticed. We're hitting for 5 here. Hitting for 5 on turn 2. We're not quite delirious. This could get poked, but it would grow the Moonshadow. If we get an attack, they're almost certainly dead. They fetched a 9, so they're dead on board. Because we've got exactly 9 damage aimed at them here. They do have blue. All right, they're heavily blue. So this tells me it's probably Grixis Control. Because like Grixis Control plays 2 Badlands. It's fine. But they're still dead on board. And they've tapped out a red. All right. I think the play here is go ahead and attack and then Chain Lightning afterward. And just in case they have like some flash threat, like I can't imagine what it would be. Let's try this. Damn. 0. And I love it how it still has, like, even though they're dead, they get the option of bouncing it back. That was brutal. Okay. And that was through a Thoughtseize. Against Grixis Control, I don't think there are any changes we make here. They do, actually, I do want to bring in Fatal Push, which should probably be Snuff Out, by the way. It's just work clean, but actually, no. I like this because if they're on Grixis Control, there's a possibility they have Tamio. There's a possibility they have a lot of stuff. They're not going to kill us quickly, so I think we can go down on Bolt Wave a little bit. I don't think there are any other changes I need to make here. They could have Hydroblast. Price of Progress is not that good because they play like 5 basics, and they'll probably be playing around it. But, I mean, that was just burn. Just having a lot of burn in our aggro deck. Paid off there. And them Thoughtseizing. We can probably count on them not having Thoughtseize in their deck this time around. Huh. Yeah, I'd rather have a lot of creatures. I mean, I have Molten Collapse to deal with Barry if he comes out. I think I'm going to keep the Burn in because they're dirtily deck. Yeah, so just going back to normal main deck configuration here in the sideboard game. By the way, Grixis Control is a great deck, but it's a very hard deck to play. This is a no-lander, but we do have 4 redraws. No, we have the... I'm going to keep on the Strength of Petal. Again, I think it's unlikely that they have Thoughtseize here. But if they Thoughtseize our Petal, then it could be a few turns. And you may look at this hand and say, this is a totally irresponsible keep. But DRC is a heck of a card. And it's practically going to be Delirious. Grixis Control does not play Daze. And almost nobody plays Grixis Control except for people who play exactly James Kiesau's Grixis Control list. So I'm just going to go ahead and blithely ignore the possibility of a Daze here. Or we could just draw land like a champ. Well, this Petal is not bad. So the conservative thing to do is play this out and miss out on a Surveil trigger. But I'm just... I would feel really dumb. Let's put it that way. I would feel really, really dumb if they Daze me. So I'm just going to, forgo a single Surveil trigger. And let's start loading up our yard, assuming this resolves. It does. Let's go ahead and do this first. I guess I should have done this before I did anything because I wouldn't have necessarily had to use a Petal. Holy cow. Well, now I'm going to play into Daze. Let's just see how degenerate we can get here. I mean, this is going to be insane. Draw our card. Goif goes to the yard. Let's go and see what they're drawing. Tarn. Okay. Let's bobble. Another Street Wraith goes to the yard. Moonshadow grows. Unfortunately, we didn't get Delirium, so we are vulnerable to a Bowmaster on our DRC. There's not a lot we can do about that, but we did get this up to a 6/6, and it was like the third thing we did. Okay. So Nethergoyf is probably not coming back from the yard, considering we totally whiffed on land. Bowmaster is a very good card here because it can block and ping my dude down. But I did get a land, and I've got 3 burn spells. They said, what a hand. All right, my opponent has the land out. They did not immediately Bowmaster this. Now they're going to Bowmaster, I think. Or Fatal Push. Unfortunate. I don't have the mana to interact. So this does grow it to full size. I think the simple thing to do is just have Surveil up. So I have 2 options. One, I could just bolt this and then attack through and deal 7 damage. Or I could have them lose both of these cards. I think I'm actually in favor of just bolting to get that out of the way and attacking. But the conservative, every turn that they potentially draw I mean, they could just do this several turns in a row. I'll play this out. I think there's a chance that they may just tank this because they have like a Fatal Push or something coming. But James Kiesau's deck doesn't actually play that many Fatal Pushes. It plays a bunch of bolts. They are just tanking it. That's good for me. So I can end step bolt and then I can double bolt them and kill them next turn. Maybe. I like that better because that gives me the option to Surveil if they kill this, which I think is quite likely. And if they play like a Baleful Strix, then I can bolt the Baleful Strix and then like in the end step and still have options. Baragoyf is pretty big. So let's think about this. We bolt here, then we untap, we bolt this, and we attack for 7 and hit them, and they're at 1. They will be able to get out of that. I think I do want to bolt here. I mean, I could just double bolt, but they may have a force. Yeah, I think it's better to double bolt the Goyf. Just keep the beats going. I like this card. It's in the air, but like I could draw Molten Collapse, which would be really good. All right, so I think the play... I've got Nethergoyf next turn. I think the play is to just try to double bolt this and hope that they don't have a force. I think they have a force by the way, but I'm not going to let them psych me out here if they don't. This would absolutely be a force if they had it. They do. Okay, so options. I can just try to turbo them, but like they'll double block. They could block like that, and then I lose this. Or I could just let them swing back for 5, and they regrow most of the life that they've gained, but I have a bolt wave. I think sadly I just need to block this. Yeah. The card that they pitched to force was a Tomio. So I feel confident this is going to come across, and I'll just have to trade. The other option, well, if they don't attack with Baragoyf and hold him back for some reason, I can shrink him like basically all the way down to a 0. No, I can't because they have instant sorcery land. I can get him down to 3/4. You can technically exile as many cards as you want when you're escaping Nethergoyf. They're pondering. All right, they're attacking me. Yep, and I will trade here. This gives them a comfortable life total, but this thing just has to be stopped, frankly. We're not favored from here. Okay, Bolt Wave number 2 is not bad. This gives us the reach. All right, let's take a look at our graveyard here. So, land. Lots of creatures. I'll take a creature out. I've got plenty of artifacts. I think I have instant and sorcery. I'll take out the sorcery because I'm going to add another instant here momentarily. So he's a 4/5, which is not bad. And if they counter, I can redeploy. All right. Unfortunately, we've already gone through a lot of our baubles, so we're less likely to draw those, but they're obviously terrible in the face of Bowmasters. They can block this for several turns in a row. They have second Bowmasters, which is not a big deal. They're pinging me. They do have Lightning Bolt in their deck. They could get me down to bolt range. They also have Kaito, which can come out and stun. They don't attack. All right, I'm going to attack in here. They'd have to have a third Bowmaster to be able to take this out, and I can just bring it right back if they do. I am still the aggressor. Like I feel like with this deck, you're probably always the aggressor. Uh-oh. They have Brazen Borrower. Okay, they are regrowing their Baragoyf, and they're doing 2 damage to me. That is extremely unfortunate. I have to discard. Oh, they're making me discard a card. Okay, that's fine. That grows the Goyf, actually. But it doesn't matter, because we're never going to get through this. Yeah, I mean, we could bolt them out in some fantasy land, but like Baragoyf is going to arrive, and unless we draw exactly Molten Collapse, we just don't have a good answer. They are being cavalier and not blocking. I'm going to go ahead and Bolt Wave them because I want to be able to redeploy next turn. They're at 7. Yeah, I don't know how we're going to do it. Like, we would need a lot of burn. If they fetch here for some reason, then they're down to 6, and 2 burn spells will do it. But I don't think they're going to fetch here. I think they're going to be extremely careful going forward. So this is a 5/6 like ours. Come on, Molten Collapse. Unfortunately, we just don't have a good play here. I can Surveil, but that won't grow this any higher. I think 5 is where we well, technically we go to 6. Let's see, instant sorcery land. I don't actually think we can because we don't have the enchantment in our deck anymore. Seal of Fire. I think we're going to lose here. I'm going to let them come in, and then I'll just bolt to finish this off. But it probably won't be enough. They're going to gain 6. They're going to gain 5 life here. We're going to lose the only kind of card we have to defend ourselves. Then we're going to bring Nethergoyf back. I can fetch Surveil. They should attack with Barry here. I'm not going to wait around and see if I can draw Molten Collapse, unfortunately. I just need to clear this. Well, let's start with the... I actually have to block now because I moved to blocks. And now they can't Fatal Push. This is going to deal combat damage. And then I'll bolt after the combat damage. That way they can't Fatal Push this. If that happens. They have Hardcast Force up, which is really awkward if they do it. Please don't have Hardcast Force. They have Hardcast Force. Okay, we're not going to win this game, unfortunately. I'm going to keep playing it out, but like... Actually, I'm not going to play it out if they just force here. All right, we're done. Okay, Baragoyf, like having to fight through 2 of those was pretty brutal. That is an argument for bringing Fatal Push in. The other thing is like Price of Progress would have been pretty good there. I think it's going to be better than Bolt Wave. I don't think they're respecting, like they didn't fetch any basics. So I think I could bring in Price and also a Fatal Push. I like that. Let's do it. And Price will kill me. they might even be able to like bolt me out with the Price on the stack because they play like 4 bolts in James Casal's list. Again, I'm assuming that they're playing the exact list. Yeah, I brought in just 1 Fatal Push. I'm still heavy on the burn plan. It's just the Price is so much more impactful than Bolt Wave if they have even 2 non-basics. It does hit me, but again, I'm going to presume I'm on the play. I'm the aggressor here. But Barragoyf is such an important card that, you know, if you try to aggro through Barragoyf, you're going to learn very quickly that that's not how you do it. That doesn't work. I guess I could bring in a Mountain here since I'm bringing in triple pop. Maybe I don't hate that. Hopefully this doesn't burn me with my openers. That's cowardly. I don't think that's correct. Yeah, I'm gonna switch back. This is really just for the lands matchup. It's not even good against like Blood Moon, obviously, because we're fine if they Blood Moon us. Like, okay, you shut off like functionally like 8 cards in our deck, main deck. So I don't fear Blood Moon at all, which is one of the nice things about playing a predominantly red deck. And I think they only play like 1 Barragoyf, so maybe I'm overreacting even bringing Fatal Push in. Yeah, I mean, I've got Molten Collapse. You know what? I'm going to freaking bring the Bolt Wave back in and just have a little more DD. That's what we used to call it back in the day. Got to win through DD. You need some DD up in your slide deck. Direct damage. I remember the first time, one of my first Magic the Gathering experiences of all time, I'll go ahead and tell you, was there's this comic book shop in Oklahoma City called The Other Side. If anybody has ever been to The Other Side back in the 90s, that was like my childhood, basically. And I went there after, of course, I was just playing like a lot of Doom and, Mario 64 and stuff like that, like really good classic video games. I was a man of taste back then, even as like a sprightly 14-year-old or so. But my friend turned me on to Magic the Gathering cardboard crack, as we called it back in the day. And so I went to the card shop and I didn't have a deck. And this guy gave me a burn deck that was literally rubber banded together. This is a keep. This is too many lands, but DRC is strong. And I'm going to hope to pop them. And I don't want to mull this and get a non-functional hand. We've got a couple surveils. So what I can do is I can bad lands and then I can immediately pedal and I might be able to find a Moonshadow to deploy immediately. Or a second DRC would be great too. But my point is here, I think we'll likely be able to achieve Delirium before their Bowmaster gets online because of the power of being on the play. But it was literally a burn deck with like Onks of Mishra, and it was rubber banded together because people didn't realize that these cards would be worth tons of money, 30 years later. That goes in the graveyard. That is a type for Delirium. And we'll just stop there. Next turn we have Fetch Surveil. We have Bolt. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get this Delirious. No, actually I'm certain I can get a Delirious, but I might need to use my pedal in the process. Mountain, I don't like that. It's a cool looking mountain too, by the way. This is from the Dragon set. They're bolting my dude. No, my chick. All right. I have nothing going on now. Moonshadow, I've got something going on. And I'm going to act quickly. Please don't force this. Actually, if you force it and it's 1 mana hand to Torque, it's not that big of a deal. They're thinking about forcing it. They do force it. Force, pitch, force. Okay. Pass. We're drawing first blood there. I'll just fetch in the end step and try to set up a better draw for next turn. Really, I'm just looking for threats. Oh no. The basics are coming out this game, huh? My opponent they said they suck, but they've been playing very well. Considering like the explosiveness of my deck, they've done a great job of countering it. This is just not, we needed threats. Like that actually stick on the board, not burn. Another Goyf, please. Molten Collapse, okay. Where were you last game? I have 3 of you. Now, Price of Progress just domes me for 6. That doesn't seem like a good deal. I'll just chill. Okay, they are bricking on land, which I will take. Again, we don't have to cast Pop. It could just rot in our hand, and that's not the end of the world. It's 1 card. Pedal, you go to the yard. Come on, threats. Threats, please. Okay, Goyf. Love it. 5/6. And it'll keep coming back. It works if you work it. My cat is going to town on my freaking Greek yogurt that I ate, that I prepped for breakfast. She loves this stuff. I know it's not good for her belly, but she can't help herself. She just like cats like milk. They love Greek yogurt too, if they get a chance. My wife will come in and see this, and she'll get very upset at me, but she's not coming in yet. Got berry covered here. Likely to fetch a duel here and not just fetch a basic swamp. All right, opponent's passing. They did make their land drop though, which is menacing. They could just Bowmaster and like basically time walk twice against my Nethergoyf. That's fine. I will allow it. I'm going to hold this bolt. Sadly, there's not really a lot of tactical value. I could draw another DRC. I guess that is reason enough to hold the bolt, the pedal. They could him me. I don't think their deck plays him, but it might. If this connects, we'll be going somewhere. Okay. This K command. Fatal push. All right. Nethergoyf down. Let's bring Nethergoyf back. I could just exile. Should I go ahead and play this out? Man, like they've got all their basics here. So pop is just not doing anything here. I might be able to get like 2 or 4 damage, but I doubt I'll get much more than that. But okay, so let's just stay focused on the task at hand here. So we'll exile a pedal, a land, a DRC. I have plenty of instants in my hand and sorceries, but I'll exile the bolt because I can just put that right back in there if necessary. So I can make it into a 5/6 again if I absolutely need to. I could play with this pedal just for flexibility. Again, I think I'm going to hold it. I hope, yeah, they shouldn't be able to him me unless they fetch a non-basic. I'm hoping they play a mark or something that Molten Collapse kills so that I can at least get that, make use of that mana. Because the problem is they have 5 freaking cards in their hand and they've got like lots of mana. They've got all their colors. These are great basics. Great choice of basics. They're all from the Dragon set, but they're beautifully painted. I like this mountain especially. It's so cool. Like the idea of like this kind of like mountain bunker or fortress type thing, whatever this represents. I love the stones in this too. I was looking at like a model of the human ear and it's got these stones in it. They're like lithograph. I can't remember what they're called, but basically they're stones that are in your vestibular system, whatever that organ is that does your balance. Okay. Let's go ahead and play this out. I'm going to go to combat. I'm going to see if they block before I bolt. So they can't bolt this, but they could like double. No, they can't double bolt. They don't have double red. They can fatal push again. Snapcaster Mage. This is fine. See what it targets. I think it's going to target bolt. Oh, fatal push. It's fine. I think they're just going to fatal push now. And then I'll just bring it back again. All right, that's fine. So I need one more type in my yard. I'm just going to bolt their dude because he does turn on Kaito. Now I've got 4 card types and I can just bring him back. I'll crack the pedal to bring him back. I think it's fine. So artifact, instant. I don't have an easy way to get a land in the yard. Sorcery. I think creature might be the hardest to get, so I'll put a creature in there. Yeah, this is a pretty tiny, dainty little Nethergoyf, but he can grow by 2 if I need to. Like if they try to bolt him, I can save him with a pedal bolt. So these are precisely how Grixis Control wins, is they just delay the game. They get these little 2-for-1s, and that's how the game slips away from us. At this point, they may actually just fetch basics. Just respecting Price of Progress or Blood Moon. But like the deck is absolutely stacked against us here. Hopefully not our deck, but like from here, it'll be very difficult for us to win because we've done like almost no damage. They're reanimating my Moonshadow. That shrinks my Nethergoyf further. That's a good play. Okay. Reanimate's a really strong card, but they could have reanimated Snapcaster and bolted this. So I don't agree with that play. They don't have a way to get additional permanents in their yard. They could fetch Surveil and get it up to 3, but I will bolt it, which will deal with it. I'm not going to use my pedal yet. They could have Force of Negation, which they have hard castable. Because they're fetching immediately. Let's see what they do here. Let's allow them to make their decisions based off this. If they get another trigger on, is this Surveil? Oh no. They have like something good that they can do over there, I think. Let's draw. DRC would be the best draw, I think, because that could fill up our graveyard really quickly. Moonshadow wouldn't be terrible. Okay, this is really annoying. So annoying. Okay, so sadly, I do need to use this to bolt this. And then they have Snapcaster back, and they can regrow the Reanimate again. It's terrible. This deals 2 damage, so I just need to survive here. I did think about putting like this, Pyroblast wouldn't have been helpful here, but it would have been good against the Snapcaster. Because this is like very strong now. But we're extremely unfavored here. Let's see what we draw. And like anything we draw is probably boltable here, unless we draw another Nethergoyf. I could Street Wraith here. Yeah, just to get deeper into my deck. I think that's the right thing to do. I don't think casting it is going to work. I don't actually want to play this out because it makes my pop worse. I'm just going to go in. There's nothing in my deck that I would draw at this point where I'd be like, oh, good. Like, I'm glad I have 4 mana. So they take 3 here, but they're just going to be able to Snapcaster, Reanimate, get back maybe even like Street Wraith. But that would cost them a lot of life. So we're working through their 2-for-1s. Nethergoyf was essentially a 2-for-1 in the sense that he's already come back. Tamio's fine. If they flip her, then Molten Collapse can kill her and something else. So I actively want them to flip her. Make like a dolphin and flip her. Opponent. Another Molten Collapse. Unfortunately, I can't turn it on. They don't have a Brainstorm in the yard. So what I think is going to happen is they're going to try to kill me through. So if I cast the sorcery right now and kill her, then I can just collapse a second time. That seems super janky. But this way, I can get my Nethergoyf out of bolt range, like block bolt range. No, wait a second. It'll get up to a 5-6. So it will still die. It'll trade with the Snapcaster here. Huh. So what I could do is I could just attack. They're not going to flip her. I'm just trying to think here. Trying my best to think with my smooth brain deck. I think we just go ahead and attack in, and then we accept the trade, and then we bring Nethergoyf back. We only had 3 card types. So I think this is just like, yeah, we'll see what they do here. I do technically have an instant. It's just not an instant I want to cast. Okay, this is fine. They're pinging me. Creating a body here. Maybe they're just taking it. I am going to go ahead and Molten Collapse Tamio. I don't want them to get any clues. And I know I could hold it for a subsequent turn, but like every clue they get is just a slap in the face to me. I'm hoping that they just keep expanding their mana base and that price can be good here. Baleful Strix is annoying as well. Yeah, this game is definitely slipping away. They're attacking for 1, but this isn't going to be Kaito at least. Nethergoyf's a 4-5. I could just blow this up just to get in. It feels really bad. This isn't even a Surveil, but this is a new type in the yard. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go black, red, Molten Collapse. Again, I do not like doing this here at all, but I feel like it's necessary. And this basically shuts off Price of Progress for the rest of the game, but I do want to get extra damage here. It doesn't necessarily, because I'll take 8 from it, but it probably does. They're taking 5. They may have Hydroblast in their deck as well. Okay, so they didn't efficiently use all their mana, which is nice. But now Barragoyf arrives and the game's just over. Because I've already used 2 of my 3 Molten Collapses. I don't think I have a Fatal Push in the deck. I was hoping to push harder. Okay, this is extra damage we can do with Pop. If they let Nethergoyf through again, which I doubt they will. I don't think they're going to be that cavalier. Okay, this is Kaito, I suspect. Okay. So we're in a position where snap Kolaghan's command can happen. And I'll just discard the Badlands, which gives me another land in the yard. I think they're going to regrow Baleful Strix and make me discard. Yep, that's what they're doing. So I will discard this Badlands. It is a bad land. Here. Another Nethergoyf. Well, I think I attack and then I deploy the second Nethergoyf after they chump. And again, if they make the mistake of letting this through for some reason, then I've got pop. Okay, that's fine. Let's deploy the second one. Hopefully they don't have a force effect. It'll be a miracle if we can win here. But now we don't have to worry as much about Kaito, but we do have to clear their Baleful Strix. There's the Strix. A lot of cards they could draw here. They could bolt me out. Okay, they did play a third land, so a third non-basic. Let's just see how greedy they get here. This has been a great series, for sure. Even if I don't win it, like, I have to admit, this is a really exciting game. All right, we're going to attack in. We can bring back another Goyf after combat. This doesn't actually change anything here, so I might want to hold it until after combat. Because they could have a Bowmaster. Let's go in with both. Okay, they do have interaction. Bowmasters. Okay. So they're going to be able to block with Baleful Strix and also ping us. So they're not taking any damage here. We're still not dead to our own pop, but that might change next turn. Okay. So we're not going to be able to bring anything back. If they have Kaito, we're probably just dead. Oh, wait, I can bring it back. Yeah. Let's go ahead and do that. And then I can play this out and just to grow the Goyf next turn. So land, sorcery, creature, artifact. I'll leave the instant in the yard. And I can... Wait a second. Yeah, I have more than one sorcery, so that's fine. Okay. So it comes back as a 4/5. And I can grow it with this. So I'll just go ahead and play this. Just in case I need to grow it for some reason. Maybe that was too... Like I showed them heads up that I had that. But they play one more land. We pop them. They ponder. Kaito is good. They'll lose a creature in the process, but they will get a Kaito. I'm hoping they fetch really anything they can do to reduce their life total. Barragoyf is probably death. That's the card that I fear the most out of their deck. Murktide is likely death as well. Because they'll have these chump blockers hanging back. They found it. That's disastrous. I'm not going to crack... Oh, what is this? Oh, they had both. They had freaking both. Okay, let's think about this. So how do we win now? Bolt. Bolt wins it. That's the only thing I can think of that wins it. I'm going to go ahead and bubble to increase the likelihood of finding a bolt. I know that, but we're not going to win through this combat. We can't win through combat anymore. They have one card in hand. Kolaghan's Command on top. That's a good card. Let's draw a direct damage spell, please, deck. Pop number 2 ties it. Then we play a game 3 with each of us having 5 minutes. I favor that. I'm favored in that. But we may not have to. Let's try this. Bolt Wave. They have one card in hand. They're dead. I think this is deterministic. Holy cow, my heart is racing. What an insane game. Oh my goodness, that Bolt Wave was nice. They got the GGs. Oh, we're 3-0. That was hard fought. Shout out to my opponent for just being like super chill, playing their best. Like, this is not an easy deck to pilot. This is one of the hardest decks to pilot. And there they are, jumping straight into it. I presume they're either relatively new to Legacy, bolt in hand. I had to X pop. I wasn't wanting a G4 though. Yeah, they said they could have taken us both out with the bolt. Yeah. Technically, they would have bolted us first, and then we would have both taken lethal damage from the pop. But they were tapped out. Like, every little mana mattered there. That was a great game. We raced the Barragoyf. All 3 of these have been 2-1. So they've all been very close. Round 4, we're 3-0. Got a really good hand. I'm going to keep this. This is Moonshadow. It's slower Moonshadow, but we can get like a out of Bowmaster range Moonshadow. Actually, we can't. Not with this current hand. But I am going to lead with it. Okay. So, non-Yorion Vial deck. This is going to be uphill. They have Plow. Probably have Solitude. We have direct damage in spades. I'm going to lead with Moonshadow. And then I've got a lot of fetches to follow. We don't have a way to tech her up yet, but we will. I love how she's got kind of like a halo type thing, but it's like a kind of like an evil looking half, like partial halo. Like she's a fallen angel. Wasting on our land. That grows the Moonshadow, and I do not mind that with my hand. So they've got double Vial, and they... Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens here, but we might be able to race them. I do want to get Netherglyph down this turn. I'm going to go ahead and see what's in their hand. This will also grow the Goyf. Orcish Bowmaster. Oh, because they have a Bowmaster in hand. We dodge that by drawing when we are. Wait, actually, their abilities go on the stack first, so they may be able to Vial in and hit us. Actually, I'm not sure how that works. Like, they put a counter on Vial, and they may be able to activate it before our trigger goes on the stack. But it's okay. I still want to get the Netherglyph out, even if I have the option of, like, potentially bolting them. I just want to bring the pressure as fast as possible because they're going to have, you know, Felia and stuff like that. Okay, so I get to draw first, apparently, before they can use their Bowmaster that's in their hand, which is nice. Chain Lightning. We've got so much burn. I'm going to burn the heck out of them if they stabilize the board. This is like the plan B. The plan B is not like, oh, let's remove all your creatures. No, it's like, okay, I'll just burn you out since you gummed up my offensive. Fetching. Okay. They're just... We know about the Bowmasters, but they have something else in hand too. Okay, let's think about this. We're definitely going to be burning them. I'm just trying to decide like how we're going to go about doing it. I think because we have the bolts, we can go to combat first and see what they do. This can grow to a 3/4. This can grow to a 5/5. I mean, technically it can grow larger depending on what they do. Okay, this is Bowmasters. That's fine. I'm going to let them go to blocks. They're just shooting me. That's fine. Okay, that is okay. I do want to fetch before. I think I'm going to fetch Surveil just because this is hitting them. It's like worth 2 extra damage, basically, if I put a permanent in the yard. I don't need this. I mean, it's a free... You know, it might be kind of terrifying to just show them this. But, like, it's just unnecessary here. And there's a chance they waste me or something. Yeah, so they're taking 5 here. I think we just wait, and then if they have Instep Felia, I can bolt it. Because Felia is a scary card, for sure. And I can always just bolt them during their turn. Okay, so they didn't have Felia. They're down to 3 cards over there, but they're drawing a 4th one. Okay. This is the first Vial activation. Halia, Guided by Light. So, I think this is a bolt now, because we're denying them a draw. And unless they have Charming Prince, which nobody plays, they're not going to be able to protect her. Oh, do they have Charming Prince? What does this do? Whenever you gain life, becomes explores and destroy all creatures if his power is exactly 20. Explores? You would need to explore a lot to do that, but that's still a pretty cool card. Okay, Legendary Vampire. Okay, so they're just gaining a life here, I believe, with Felia before, or with Halia before she dies. Okay, so this should work now. No? Oh, they're Bowmastering me too. Just gaining a lot of life, but the end step trigger, she's not around, so I don't think you get. Does that trigger go on the stack? I think if she's not on the table, that it doesn't go on the stack. Okay. They explore. Okay, Starscape Cleric. I don't know what that card is, but it sounds like a card from the space set. Let's take a look at it. So they are exploring. Does that mean, why did they go to the graveyard? Offspring. Okay. Whenever you gain a life. Okay, so we're up against a life gain deck with our burn deck. This is not favorable here. Yeah, I'm not sure whether doing all this right now, because they could have just waited just to get information. I think they explored and they saw this and they decided to bin it. But I think you can bin it anyway. They're down to 12. Okay. Wait, why did they lose life here? Did they ping themselves? I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. Because they pinged me, right? Okay, so this dies. So they gain one more life. This explores. They find a static prison. Okay, that's a good card. They're tapped out. They can go to combat. This is a 6/6 now. Pretty big. I don't know how I'm going to even win through combat. I'm going to try, and then I'll just probably bolt it. Let's see. I might be able to get Moonshadow bigger. Let's theater first. DRC is a good card to put in the bin at this point. Like, I don't think fair combat is how we win. This is now a 6/6. We can attack and trade with this thing. I think I just attack with both, and then we can bolt stuff. I do want to get this off the table. Wait, whenever you gain life, they need a way to gain life. They don't actually have a way to gain life, I don't think. They're hellbent over there. They're opting to do that. No? This is fine. I can just bolt this off the table, and then they don't have much of a board. I'll have to pay 3 life when I bolt, but that's a small price to pay. And then I can bring this back like in a future turn. It does grow. Okay, so they take 6. They're at 7. I'm still going to go ahead and bolt here. I'll use the sorcery speed one, which is more limited in its application, to finish this off. I will pay the 3 life. And I don't believe she survives. I mean, there's so much text on this card. Okay. Yeah. And now I'll just chill with bolt up. They get their vial. They don't have a Yorion or anything that they can get here, though, because they're playing a 60 card deck. There's a thread on the Death and Taxes subreddit or sub Discord. And it's basically like 60 card questions. And it's basically like, hey, I want to play 60 cards. And they just say, you're wrong. You should always play 80 cards and play Yorion. They scoop. Okay. So we had that one handily. They didn't know it, but we did. Okay. Fatal Push seems pretty strong here. I want to bring it in. Smash the Smithereens can hit their vials, but I don't think that's where we want to be because this doesn't do anything if they don't have an artifact out. Against the life gain deck, I think Bolt Wave is probably not strong enough. Let's try this. I mean, like, clearly life gain is a big part of their deck if they're playing that creature. I don't think it's just like a tiny combo they tucked in there. I think they probably have lots of life gain. I'm cool. It is cool to see brews like this. I want to shout out my opponent, Souter333, for actually brewing, for actually trying new things, and not just, net decking. Again, no shade to net deckers. When I was new, I net decked too, but like, you can do better than what other people do, frankly. Like, you're smarter than other people. Give yourself some credit. You're smarter than the median Magic player if you're watching this channel. All right. So this is almost certainly Delirium here. I could draw into Moonshadow. Let's try this. All right. So if I fetch and just get a Badlands out of my deck, that also dodges Oppo Agent, which they could be playing. This card is terrifying. If they get Ocelot Pride, the game's just over, basically. I'm going to go ahead and fetch just to get another type in the yard. Decrease the number of lands in my deck because I don't really need them at this point. I've got 3 lands in hand. Let's go ahead and go DRC. Let's go Bobble. Bobble. And I'm going to basically bin anything that's not like some really aggressive card. Like, I think I'm looking for, at this point, like, I'm looking for bolts and removal. Let's see what their hand is made out of. Okay, the Ocelot Pride. They have the combo already, unfortunately. But if I find a bolt, I can leave it on top and then I can bolt the Guided Souls and upkeep. I actually think that's fine. So let's go ahead and try to find the bolt. And it has to be, yeah, there we go. We'll leave it there. And then I'm going to do that in the upkeep to hit this. So I shouldn't deploy any more cards because I want Surveil triggers next turn. But let's see. I mean, yeah, the bolt will actually put me into Delirium here. So I'll just do that. And I don't think they'll be able to protect it. This will happen in the upkeep before they can really do anything. And I will get another trigger. And I just like to preserve these baubles to the extent I can because, yeah, and you bolt this one. You don't bolt the other one. So like life gain, this is the best life gain creature ever printed, Guide of Souls. Actually, I think that's fine considering these are going to be delirious already. I can deploy that. Yeah. Then I can get a lot of triggers next turn. Oh, I don't actually have delirium yet. No, I do now because the bolt went to the yard. Okay. We'll just try to beat them down in the air. But like seeing that Ocelot Pride and knowing that they were about to combo me, that was pretty important. Voice of Victory is a good card. It's not going to be enough unless they also find the Ajani. All right, so we could surveil here. So first thing first, this comes out. Let's play the pedal, or let's get the information. And they could absolutely have a Bowmaster now. Theater goes to the yard. Fatal Push, we could actually push. No, we can't push in the upkeep. This is a good card, but I think we keep going. I want to find more threats or bolts to finish them off. Guide of Souls, they have another one. Okay. That's bad news because like that basically with Voice of Victory is like kind of like a checkmate. Like they gain so much life and they get the energy. They can block us. I think I actually need to keep this on top here so that next turn I can bolt the Guide of Souls before things get totally crazy. Yeah, and I will play this out, but I'm not actually going to fetch. But like, I think it's correct to do it so we have the optionality of playing 3 mana if we need to like return another Goyf or something. So yeah, it sucks. Like what is about to happen is going to suck really badly. But they can't necessarily attack in unless they also have removal, but they're going to have a third land. They didn't have a Bowmasters, but I think what's going to happen is Guide of Souls, and then I think they are going to attack to create the thing, but it, oh damn, now they can create enough energy to give this flight. And +2, so it'll be big enough to survive. It's disastrous. Absolutely catastrophic. That they had like an insane hand. Like this is like a 10% of the time hand, basically what they had. And I hope that doesn't come across as salty, but like this is an insane hand. The fact that they had a redundant guide, because guide is what breaks this open. Like Ocelot Pride is just a mediocre card. Guide is the card that's totally cracked. So they're gonna do this. I will block one of these. We're gonna have to race like crazy here. I will bolt the Guide of Souls before they get even further away. No, I might have to bolt the Pride now, sadly. If I just draw another bolt, then that simplifies things. But, I mean, look at this. Okay, so they have, yeah. I still think we bolt the Guide of Souls, and then we don't have a blocker for Ocelot Pride, though. We drew already. I could surveil here and just like increase the likelihood of finding a second removal spell. I think that's the line. Because I need to get rid of the Guide and the Ocelot Pride, and I would love to get rid of this, but I don't even think I can get rid of that now at this point. Raucous Theater. I will keep bolt type effects. And I had to draw the bolt now because I don't have a way to draw it. Okay. All right. So you're saying there's a chance. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go and bolt the Guide of Souls. That has to die. And I'll always yield to these. So I'm going to be doing this a lot. Okay, this goes to the graveyard. This, I think, also goes to the graveyard. I'm looking for more burn at this point. And now I'm going to do it again. Now, they could keep this back and block my attackers, but I just don't want them gaining more life and getting further out of reach for me. They're down to 3 cards over there. Moonshadow is too late, unfortunately. What am I trying to draw here, though? I think I'm trying to put Nethergoyf in my yard, is what I'm trying to do. There we go. That's perfect. And so next turn, Nethergoyf will come back. I will go ahead and play this out. No mystery over here. We'll attack. We have to attack. So they can just hang back, and one of these will die every turn cycle. But we will have a big Nethergoyf. I could draw a Fatal Push. I think I boarded those in, right? So Fatal Push is the best draw on my deck here. If they have some other, that's pretty damn good. They're going to gain a life and they're going to draw a card. Yeah, this is not a big deal. But this actually counts. They gain a life for that too. So they attack here. They are choosing to attack. They're going to gain like a ton of life here. I take damage, but I'm not really even focused on my life total because it's not a big deal. Like, yeah, I'm taking 6 here, but well, I guess I'm on a 1-turn clock here. Then they gain they get to they gain so much life there. Actually, I think that I might be dead because they have an aerial attack next turn. They can bring this back probably if they find a land. Okay, so we can bring back Nethergoyf, but we need something else good. That's not good enough. I will play it out. Do I even have any lands left to fetch? I do have a Badlands in the deck. I might as well play it out. Let's bring out Nethergoyf. I could actually like keep these back and not attack, but I think I am going to attack here. And then, let's see. They create 2 bodies. I mean, this assumes that they don't have something better to do next turn, but they create 2 bodies. I don't actually... Yeah, technically Nethergoyf can exile as many cards as I want, so I can keep them off Delirium. And then I can put them back into Delirium with the Lotus Petal, and then that could block that. That I would lose one of the creatures, and I would also largely give off all my offensive plan. Let's take a look at the graveyard. We have plenty of time. Let's figure out how many cards we need to exile. So, I wish there was a way we could sort these. One of these is going to go to the yard. So we just need to exile all our artifacts. And I've got 5 types. We exile all the artifacts and exile all the creatures. No, exile all the lands. So exile artifacts, exile lands. Then we can crack this to get Delirium, and we can keep our petal around, or we can crack our petal. Yeah. So I'm going to do that. And again, I'm almost certain we're going to die here, but I'm going to try. So land, 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 artifact, 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 artifact. I have to be very careful because if I screw up, then this just doesn't work. I think that's all. So we have creature. It's so hard to tell what's selected here. I'm just going to be very careful. Okay. We have creature, instant, sorcery. Currently. It looks like all this is selected. And then I'll just choose a creature and an instant. And we still have sorcery in there, right? We have chain lightning. Okay. So now we don't have to attack. And then either of these can go to the yard and grow the Goyf and also get the blocker up in the air. So we'll just pass. Again, like not where we want to be, being on the defensive against their deck, but we are at 6 life, and I was just ignoring my life total, but I don't think I can do that here. Also, like the offensive is just not going to work. I need them to make a mistake. I need them to make this mistake of attacking with Voice of Victory. Actually, yeah, if they waste that. Okay, so they had another one in hand. That's pretty good. They're going to gain a ton of life, but they don't. The life isn't energy. Okay, this is going to resolve, and then I can just save one of these dudes if they make the mistake of pinging one. What are they pinging here? They're pinging one of those. Okay. So this trigger goes on the stack, and now I will just fetch, and I'll get the last land out of my deck, and these will survive combat. And like, there's no way we're winning here. Like, they also have a card draw engine. They're going to be drawing cards every turn with that, with Halia. They just don't attack. Okay. Do they get a card here? I don't think they do. But they can recast her next turn. I don't have Wasteland in my deck or anything like that. There's no way out of this. Actually, Molten Collapse can blow up this and kill this. I think that's worth doing. I'll kill that in that. I mean, this is a good card, if you haven't noticed. It's like an insane card. Bobble goes to the yard. Bobble goes to the yard. We have to attack with these. I'll just leave this back as a blocker so I don't die. Because they're going to bring in Halia here, I think. They've got 2 in warp. Now they have Infinity Halia. I'm going to concede to this. We tried our best. We're not going to get there. Because they can Halia, they can... lots of nasty stuff. Okay, so... I don't think there are any changes. I like Fatal Push a lot against their deck. I don't like Bolt Wave at all. We could bring in a Smash, but like the only artifact we've seen is Vial, and they just may not draw it. Leyline doesn't do anything against their deck. Yeah, I'm going to run it like this. Molten Collapse was very good there. It just wasn't good enough. My opponent said, your go. I think they were like taking offense to me thinking, but I'm going to slow down and think. I'm not going to let you pressure my clock, dude. The clock pressures my clock. You sit there and you wait. I'll keep this. So this is turn 1 Moonshadow, and then we have lots of removal. And then we're going to just hope to get there with Moonshadow. My opponent mulls to 5. Love to see it. If you're playing paper and your opponent's taking a long time, you're totally within your right to tell them to hurry up, but not on MTGO. Like, you can say it, of course. You can say whatever you want. It's a free country. Yeah, like, don't let people try to get inside your head by pressuring you. There's a lot of thinking that has to happen here for you to not punt, especially when you're, recording a video that 1,000 people are going to watch, and you don't want to embarrassingly punt. They probably have guide. Okay, plow's fine. This means that we don't have any offensive at all, unfortunately, but we will survive. Come on, let's draw a threat. Bolt wave's not what we want to see. I'm just going to pass here. Again, I'm just going to respect the fact that, like, we might need to do some sort of push. If they have, what's her name? We could push her when she warps and then she doesn't come back later. Okay, so we're in House Markov. I think this is just a push, and then I'll surveil. This is exactly tough enough that I can't kill it with bolts, so I'll use my very good card here, and now we'll surveil. And we could certainly have held that to see if we found a Moonstone. Oh, this is a good card. So we have instant land. We can get sorcery in our yard, and maybe something else. I'm going to keep this. This is a threat. It is a threat that dies most likely to Bowmaster, but we might get lucky here. Oh, we could also surveil to get it out of Bowmaster range. Let's play this out. I do think just casting Bolt Wave is totally fine here. So we surveil. Perfect. Delirium achieved. And we will pass with double Chain Lightning up for their threats. Okay, I need to read this one. So this is a new card from the new set. Kinscare Sentry. First strike, lifelink. Whenever this creature attacks, you may put a creature card mana value X or less from your hand onto the battlefield tapped, where X is the number of attacking creatures you control. Okay, I'm going to bolt this. I'm going to go ahead and surveil here. I kind of like holding the surveil because I'm going to get a surveil here anyway. Yeah, let's just do that. Okay, that's not terrible. Let's go ahead and just see what's in their hand first before we do anything. DRC number 2. I want that. Yeah, I'll keep that for next turn. I'm going to go ahead and bobble them. Their hand is Case of the Uneaten Feast. I have no idea what that does, but I'm just going to move quickly here and bolt this. We'll keep this, and then we'll attack. I haven't seen any Graveyard Disruption. They could play some Graveyard Disruption. That would be rough when I have 2 of these things, but I'm going to chance it. Because like they're on like a 2-turn clock. Well, technically a 3-turn clock. I could surveil in the end step here. What does this Case of the Uneaten Feast do? Okay, this guy, this lady, she's a 2/2. I have to pay life to kill her, but I will. What does this do? Whenever a creature you control enters, you gain 1 life. That's pretty good. To solve, gain 5 life. Sacrifice this Case. Creature cards in your graveyard you may cast. That's pretty damn good. Okay, that's a very strong card. But they are gated on mana. They haven't been finding land. I think here we just surveil, just try to find threats or direct damage. I'm not looking for Moonshadow anymore. I think that ship has sailed. Fatal Push is clean. I'll just keep that. So this is a 2 mana spell. All right, so let's go ahead and get our DRC out. That way we can surveil twice. Let's go ahead and do this. I'll pay the 3 life. Okay, Nethergoyf goes to the yard. I can bring that back next turn. Very cool. Definitely don't need another land. All right, and now I could just go ahead and bolt them again, but I think it's correct to hold it. Let's see, if I bolt them, they're not quite dead on board, and I might be able to get some surprise victory if they fetch or something. If I bolt them now, I can bring back Nethergoyf next turn. I think I am going to actually bolt them now, and that way I can set up a good draw next turn. Wait. Yeah, we didn't know about that. I'm going to bin it. I'm just going to try to find more direct damage. Netherglyph number 2 is fine. All right. So they're dead on board. In the air, we've got Netherglyphs to bring back, 2 of them. Karakas. Okay, they gain a life when something comes into play. This saves them from death if they have a Bowmaster. Come on, burn. Let's go to combat. They have to play the Bowmaster now if they have it. And this can resolve and I can just bolt them afterward. This can't block either of these. They gain 2 life. They're tapped out unless they have exactly Solitude, which they don't have 2 white cards. So I'll let them gain this life. They take 6 in the air. Drop to 2, and then I just bolt for the final damage. Wow, my heart is racing. This was a close game. I know they're low on life and everything, but like it felt like it could have just gone away at any time. Wow, my heart is racing. We're going into the trophy round. I am going to take a break before the next one. I'm going to kind of like relax for a few minutes. These have all been incredibly close. All right, let's do this final round, trophy round. On the play, that's a good sign. Unknown opponent. This is a turn 1 Moonshadow, which we can buff up, and then we follow with DRC. I like this. Wait, we can DRC the same turn cycle. Yeah, I like that because we can just hit them really hard and fast. Unknown opponent, again, they are a vintage gamer. That's about all I know about them. They've got this dragon, I think, is it a dragon or a lion as their avatar? Like, I don't know what I can infer. They're playing a 60 card deck. Yeah, I'm getting as much information as I can out of it. They did not force. They did think. They're not F6. Let's go ahead and do red. Okay, they may be F6 now. Let's bobble. Trigger. Always yield. None of the that goes to the yard. I always bin these, by the way, because they come back. And that's like the only form of card advantage our deck has. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at what they're doing over there. They have a Misty Rainforest, so they're blue. Most likely. Yeah, we've leveled up Moonshadow as much as we can. We'll pass. We're 1 type away from Delirium here. Hopefully they don't like Lotus Petal, Bowmaster, or DRC. Street Wraith is good. I'm going to wait until we draw. Okay, that's a bad draw, unfortunately. I'm going to go ahead and Street Wraith first. Chain Lightning's not bad. We could Chain Lightning to trigger both of these. I kind of like that. That will give us Delirium, so we're going to be hitting them for 10 this turn. This is an explosive start, to say the least. DRC. Chain Lightning. We should get Moonshadow fully leveled up here. Petal goes to the yard. That's still not Delirium. Come on, Delirium. Okay, we're not going to get Delirium, unfortunately. So we're only going to hit them for 8 here. Hopefully they use their life total as a resource if they're a combo deck. Oh, wait, we did get Delirium. Okay, because the Chain Lightning was on the stack, so I misread. Okay, they're dead on board. They're fetching. They may have a Fatal Push here. Okay, they're just surveilling. So this is like Beans-like, I think, is the main deck that plays this, but this could be like an Omnitel type deck. And they could just have, Ancient Tomb, Show and Tell, win, unfortunately. That's how Legacy works sometimes. But they got 7 cards. They put a Show and Tell in their graveyard. So they have a Show and Tell, so we're dead. Unfortunately. Like, despite all of our best efforts, I think we're going to lose here. Because they have Petal and Ancient Tomb as ways to enable Show and Tell. And we don't have a win. Oh, we did win. Because I guess even if they got, like, the big lady out, Atraxa, we could have attacked through that. Okay, so unfortunately, we are not well prepared for this matchup. Pretty much a nightmare matchup for us. I think we just leave it as is and hope for the best, sadly. I'm not convinced Pop is where we want to be. We didn't even see the second land. They seem to be like a Veil version. I'd rather have Bolt Wave in just to maximize like the likelihood of us being able to actually do damage. If this only does 2 damage before they die, it's not good. Molten Collapse can stay in because it can clear an Atraxa. Exactly. I don't think Smash comes in. Leyline of the Void doesn't do anything. Yeah, I can't think of any improvements to make to the deck. We're just going to run it back. Yeah, this is just like a matchup that the way we win is we race them, basically. This doesn't do it, unfortunately. This would be a good hand if we were playing poker, which I don't advocate people gambling. This is double Street Wraith. I think we need to mull into something even more aggressive than this, though, because like there's a decent chance between the land. I mean, we have 17 mana sources. If we get a single mana source, it's pretty good, but like I just don't like this. This is a burn hand. We keep the DRC. We keep a petal. We could DRC Nethergoyf. And then we have 2 types in the yard. Yeah, I'll put back a petal and I'll keep a Bolt Wave. This is not a great hand, but it will get some damage on the board. And what we need is our opponent to stumble. Ponder. Okay. Pretty typical opening for a Omnitel deck. I believe they're on Omnitel, but they could be on Stinky Show. Raucous Theater is not a great rip. Let's go ahead and get the... And we might get closer to Delirium here because we are going to get a trigger off of the Petal, assuming this resolves. I would love for them to be forcing this stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if Force just isn't even in their deck right now. Nice dodge. Unfortunately, it doesn't help us with the Delirium issue. We're going to go ahead and just play this out now so we can at least hit for something next turn, but it's not looking good for our hero. Game 3, hopefully we have decent mulligans and a quick Moonshadow kill. Brainstorm. So this is not Ancient Tomb stock up. They do have to find the A-B combo and the mana. They just don't need to find any interaction because our deck just doesn't interact. I definitely considered putting Thoughtseize in the sideboard, and I think I probably should. I think it's probably better than... yeah, and we'll deal with that in the post board, but there are going to be changes for sure. So I think first we Bolt Wave. This puts a type in the yard. Come on, DRC. Put something good in the yard that gives us Delirium. Okay, well, that's a dodge. Unfortunately, unless we can bin exactly Sorcery Creature here, we're not going to have a Delirium Strike. Ah, we're getting flooded hard. Okay, so we'll attack for 4, but this is not looking good. And they are playing basics, so I don't think Pop is going to come in here. Mysterized Village. They have stock up. Okay, that's a turn. I don't think it's going to be good. Like, they're almost certainly going to find their A and their B here. And we don't have any evasion. We don't have Moonshadow this time, so we will die to Atraxa. We just can't beat it. Like, I guess we could, in theory, beat it, but gosh. And we hit another brick, unfortunately. Yeah, this is really sad. But like our deck has cooperated with us in most of the other rounds pretty well. So yeah, we're just going to do the thing that we do and hope it's enough. I don't think we survived this turn. I could have kept this in hand for Mystery to deter them from show and telling, but yeah, it's not going to matter. We'll see what they have. Emrakul. Dream Halls. Interesting. Okay. Interesting choice. There's Atraxa off of the Veil. We can't actually... Yeah, we can trigger Descend. When we cast... If we have the card, we can cast it. These will cause it to descend. And then we can kill it and attack for lethal. That's like the one card that we could draw. Molten Collapse is the one card we could draw. They have Show and Tell, Lotus Petal. They have a Force of Will and Show and Tell. So the game is over. Because they can just force our thing. But I'll go ahead and go to draw and see what we draw. If we would have drawn it, we wouldn't have. Good game. Okay. So final game for the trophy. I'm definitely thinking that what I should do, I should probably just cut this mountain. It didn't come in all this league, and it really only comes in against lands, and I think I'm just playing scared. And I think Smash and Smithereens is probably like a 2 of maybe. And then we probably want 4 Thoughtseize for this type of matchup. I would like to go up to 4 Fatal Push 2, but maybe that's not necessary. 3 Pop does seem like a lot, but it did save us that one game, and it would have gotten us a game 4 by drawing that other game. We did see enough lands that maybe Pop is okay. I think I'm going to take a Molten Collapse, and I'm just not going to live in a world where they resolve it, and I'm going to bring in Pop just as another way to potentially kill them. Hopefully this works. Love to get a Fireblast kill on camera if that's possible. Come on, Mulligans. Gentle. I don't like this. I need a threat, turn 1. This is pretty good. This is fine. It's not spectacular. I don't like the fact that we drew 4 lands, but we're going to put 1 back. All right. Should I put this back to thin my deck more aggressively? I like that. Yeah. I don't care about my life total at all, so I'll just fetch aggressively. And next turn, we can just get the Surveil land and maximize the likelihood of hitting Delirium. I'll just be bolting their face, main phase, basically, to maximize the likelihood of finding. Okay, Street Wraith. Let's just cycle it immediately. Okay, that's not bad. So I kind of want to just go ahead and get the Badlands and just double bolt them to max the likelihood. I am very close to having it. There is a situation where I could draw a pop and I've done so much damage to myself, but I think that's unlikely. That'll go in the yard. Come on, deck. I actually might Fireblast here. I know it sounds totally insane, but I might Fireblast just to try to get Delirium. They're fetching here. Okay, they're just surveilling. They've been a force. Okay. Nethergoyf goes in the yard. I can bring him back next turn if I don't Fireblast here. Let's think about this. This is probably the most important decision we're going to make in this match. Whether to Fireblast here. We Fireblast here. We can't bring back Nethergoyf. But if we hit him for an extra 3. So we bring back Nethergoyf. And it's actually... We can't even bring him back. So I'm just going to Fireblast. It sucks, but I'm going to do it. Okay, let's find something that flips this. Come on! Artifact. Creature. Or... Yeah, there's another creature. This, I think it's too slow. I'm just looking for burn at this point, sadly. And then we're just hitting... Oh, they forced that. Okay. Well, it's still damage. But it's not 4 damage. Okay, well, coming for 1. Yeah, that's pretty pathetic. Like, our deck was uncooperative there. I can Surveil and maybe get Delirium next turn if I don't draw something worth casting. Which, Bolt Wave, like really any burn spell would be good here. Okay, they're passing... Come on, good card. Oh, of course, we get that. No. All right, let's fetch. Surveil here. Come on, Delirium. Please, deck. Oh, my goodness, deck. This is the fail rate of the deck. Like, we have so many artifacts. So many sorceries. We've got like 8 of each. 12 artifacts. We're just getting extremely unlucky here. And I think we're probably going to lose, unfortunately, as a result of this. And my decision not to put Thoughtseize in my sideboard. So again, we've learned a lot from this league, and I do think this is going to be a real deck. It's just we're about to get show and telled. Come on, deck. They're playing slow. Okay, so we definitely have Delirium here. I'm gonna go ahead and do this now. Bolt Wave, I think, is actually a top here. Yeah, I'm gonna keep the burn, and that means that I can use this for like if there's another turn. I can use it. They don't have the ability to get double red to bolt me back, thankfully. Let's come across, and they're dead next turn. They're definitely dead next turn. Unless they can stop this. Do they have endurance or something? That would be insane. They have endurance in your sideboard? Oh, Sink into Stupor? Yeah, that works. Okay, so now I have Bolt Wave in my... I'm going to go ahead and just... How many Badlands do I have in my yard? I have 1 Badlands left. I'm going to redeploy this. I'd rather have... guaranteed death in 2 turns than having to draw another burn spell. Yeah. And then if we draw the last land in the deck, we can deploy another whip, but that'll be very slow. Omniscience. Pedal. What do you have? Luck be a lady tonight. Come on. We can bring back another Nethergoyf. Then they'll have 2 things they need to deal with. They can't tap, like they don't need to tap anything. They just need to draw any cantrip and then we're probably dead. We're so close here. I can't actually bring back the Nethergoyf here. So this needs to be a bolt. This doesn't matter, I don't think. I don't think they're going to remove this. I'd rather draw a bolt just in case they do give us a turn somehow. We've got a lot of bolts left in our deck. Come on, whiff, please. Trophy! Yes! My brew trophy! My brew trophied, Mom. I don't actually live with my mom, but that would be cool if she came out and like hugged me in like those speedrunning videos. Oh, honey, I knew you could trophy. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. I want to get a screenshot with this trophy, but I can't figure out how to get back over to my deck list with this showing. Come on. Okay, well, you all saw it. Hopefully, thousands of you saw it. Hopefully, my audio video like didn't screw up somehow. That was a trophy with black, red, burn in 2026. That's a burn deck. This is a burn deck. Don't let anybody tell you this isn't a burn deck. Oh, it's a slide deck or whatever. No, we're playing 13 freaking burn spells. Right? So let's talk about the sideboard. So Smash the Smithereens, I think, again, is a 2 of. I do think we just bring in all the Thoughtseize. So we have a prayer. I mean, we just had to get super lucky there in the final round. That's what happened. I'll take out the mountain. It never came up. We never faced any real like opposition to our mana base. We never got mana screwed, like because you just get a threat out and you don't protect it. You just hope that they don't have removal basically. And yeah, so the Thoughtseize are absolutely coming in. Holy guacamole. This should have been the configuration. And then I'll go into 2 pops because we churned through enough of our deck that 2 pops is fine. I would like to go up to 4 Fatal Push because there are lots of touch and go matchups where yeah, what would we shave? Maybe we shave another Smash. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Fatal Push is an insane card. Like, I think this way, the addition of Molten Collapse, which may seem like a non-aggro card, the reason this is so good is it answers Chalice, which is solos our deck, basically. We just don't win if they Chalice. We win if they get really lucky, or we get really lucky and we find a Fireblast and they've been too cavalier with their Ancient Tomb. But in general, we're never going to win a Chalice matchup unless we have Molten Collapse. And Molten Collapse solves that. It also solves the Baragoi problem, the Murktide problem. Like, I'm really embarrassed. Like, if you watch the previous video where I'm like brewing this, I'm really embarrassed that it didn't occur to me that this was like a perfect card to put in our deck. Like, if we're going to have anything that costs 2 mana, well, it's actually a benefit that it costs 2 mana because it gets around Chalice and then it blows up Chalice. And we were able to do cool stuff with like the Vial and Tomio. I don't think we murked a Tomio with this, but man, I'm very proud of this brew. I am very proud of this brew. Like the black brew, it's not that like I trophied with black the other day. I trophied with Moonshadow. I've been trophying with non-Moonshadow as well. But like this is the one that I'm the most proud of so far because this is the most like, okay, like who would have thought 2026 now, somebody's trophying with burn. I played a league with traditional burn and I went 0-5. It was not even funny. And then immediately after somebody like won some tournament here in Texas, I think with a burn deck. And I was like, okay, like, I don't know how they did that, but Tomio was just soloing me the entire time. Maybe the meta has fundamentally changed to where burn is viable again, but I will tell you, DRC belongs in a burn deck. Don't play freaking Swiftspear. She's a trap. Don't play the card that like pings for every 2 drop that Eidolon. That's a good card in traditional burn. It's a terrible card here, obviously, because you're going to be like hitting yourself constantly in the face with your 0 drops. 1 Fireblast was perfect. It did come up. We didn't win that game that we cast it against Show and Tell, but it was nice to have it. I think that was the game where we like petered out, right? Or was that the final game? I can't remember. That might have been actually the final game where this did the trick. Lots to unpack from this league, but I will say this. Dragon's Rage Chandler is the most pushed 1-drop legal in Legacy, and that is probably no surprise to any Delver players or anybody who's been playing against Delver. The other thing I will say is she goes so well with Moonshadow. Like, how many times do we get Moonshadow up to full power thanks to DRC? Of course, there were times when we got Moonshadow up to full power without even needing DRC, but like this is a 2-card combo that costs 2 mana that can be deployed on turn 1 if you have a pedal. Like, this is a real threat. I think now that we fixed the sideboard and we put these Thoughtseizes in, this is going to freaking tear people apart. We saw several turn 3 goldfishes effectively against players. And even in situations where they're able to like waste us or Thoughtseize us or force one of our spells, we're still just freaking bowling right through them. And I love it. So I don't really have any feedback on the list. Give me feedback on the list. I'm going to be playing a lot of different Moonshadow builds. I've got a black-green Moonshadow video coming soon. and it's going to be glorious. I've found a couple synergistic cards. Lord Pepsi and a couple other people that frequently comment on my videos have like brought to mind some really Timmy cards that I never would have even thought of, that I've never even heard of, that are going to synergize really well with Moonshadow. And there's another creature that also is like Moonshadow, but it's green, and that's going to be in a future deck. And there's a card. It was a penny rare that is also going to be in a new. Like, I don't want to spoil too much, but you'll see. If you've watched this far, subscribe to my channel, please, and consider becoming a most excellent friend. Yes, that is a reference to George Carlin, the greatest comedian of all time, in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, the greatest 80s movie of all time. I guess we can't go back and make more 80s movies, but it is the greatest in my opinion. And in the vein of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, I wish you all a fun time until we meet again. Be excellent to each other and party on.